Questions fill a wife's mind as she pulled into her neighborhood, now a crime scene. Her own husband, one of the victims. Good evening, I'm Dustin Grove in for Scott Swan. A total of 3 people were shot this afternoon on the east side. Tonight, a person of interest is now in custody, but the motive remains unclear. Our Logan Gay spoke with the woman whose family is now facing the fallout of this latest gun violence. Logan?
Yeah, Dustin, she says she was shocked by the news. In fact, actually 2 people are in critical condition and 1 person is stable. That is the 3rd person. When I talked to Tangela Williams, she didn't know how her husband was doing or really anything about what had happened, but she was anxious to get answers. An urgent call is what disturbed what would have been another average day for Tangela Williams.
I got a call saying come home real quick. And I left my job, clocked out, and came straight home.
She rushed home to find her streets and house blocked by crime scene tape. She sat there waiting for answers about what happened before learning one of 3 people shot here was her husband.
I pulled up right here, and they told me I couldn't come in. So I don't know if he's in good condition or not. I called his phone, no answer. So I'm hoping and praying that he is okay.
Police believe the shooting started in the streets and may have led to a home. 1 man found shot at the scene, the other 2 walking into Community East Hospital in critical condition.
Any active violence in our city is disturbing. Anytime a person is injured by gunfire is disturbing, let alone 3 people. Thank goodness there was an area hospital that was just steps away from where we were at and able to get medical care.
Williams says her husband was watching their 3 grandchildren at the time the gun violence started.
When I came home, they told me Papa got shot. There's blood everywhere. My 4-year-old granddaughter told me that.
Police now working to verify who was there at the time and what they may have seen or heard. But knowing children may have been in the area, they say adds on to the tragedy.
If that is the case, it's disturbing. No child should ever have to see violence of that nature.
Williams says this situation has left her with a lot of questions and feeling shaken up.
It's very, very stressful and chaotic here. I'm scared as hell. Don't really want to stay at my house tonight.
Police have not shared information at this time about a possible motive, but say the 3 people involved knew each other.
Logan, thank you. A local man will spend the next 2 decades behind bars for killing 2 brothers. It happened nearly 2 years ago, back in April of 2023. Gunfire at a gas station near 32nd and Emerson. There's the scene right there. Jacarius Mitchell and Jimmy Thomas died that day. Martise McGee admits to being the shooter. He was 20 years old at the time. Police say there was a fight at the counter before the gunfire. We talked with the victim's mother after the judge handed down that 22-year sentence.
Because I don't see too much justice that my sons got, and they ain't never coming back. So I had to accept whatever the judge gave me today. So that's a hard pill, but I have to eat it up.
McGee offered an apology to the family during court.
Temperatures right now in the 40s and 50s, still hanging on to 50 degrees in Indianapolis, 52 Bedford, but we're down to 43 Muncie, 44 Richmond. Cold enough early tomorrow morning for a jacket. A dry start to our Thursday. Sunrise is at 7:06. Not quite as cold as what we had this morning, but still jacket weather, and throw the umbrella in. Rain chances return tomorrow afternoon with highs in the mid-60s.
Thanks, Angela. Tonight, a middle school student is dead. Another seriously hurt after a crash in Terre Haute. And the details here are just heartbreaking. Police say the kids were on a bike when they collided with an ambulance. One of them died at the hospital. The second was airlifted to a hospital here in Indy. At the time of the crash, police say that ambulance was on its way to a separate emergency. The loved ones of these kids, they visited the scene of the wreck today. Michael Poulter says his daughter Autumn was well loved.
She was an amazing person. Anybody that knows Autumn, she's going to be missed so much. She was my princess.
We're working now to confirm the circumstances of that wreck. Students are organizing a car wash and a bake sale this weekend to help the families with hospital bills and funeral expenses. Tonight, local immigrants concerned about the changing federal laws and what it means to them got some help. Congressman Andre Carson's office hosted what they called an online empowerment session with immigration attorneys and community advocates to explain what's going on and to help them understand their eligibility for public benefits and what to know if a family member is detained.
I understand that many families are terrified. A lot is uncertain. A lot is at stake. We will not back down. We will continue fighting for the rules of law. And I'm fighting with activists.
Along with immigration attorneys, the mayor's Latino Advisory Council was also online tonight for that meeting, as well as the Coalition for Our Immigrant Neighbors and the Immigrant Welcome Center. Concerns are growing tonight in Franklin Township over plans for a massive data center. One big problem? Well, the people who live there say they don't even know the name of the company behind it. Alex Almanza has reaction from a community meeting tonight.
It was a vocal crowd as neighbors packed the room here at Franklin Township Civic League, grilling a developer's attorney on a proposed data center. The company behind what's being called Project Flow has chosen to remain anonymous to complete what they call due diligence. The only public detail? It's a Fortune 100 tech company headquartered in the U.S. The plan? To invest about $1 billion into farmland here in Franklin Township. Details were brought to light during a Civic League meeting.
We want to know who the neighbor is going to be to us, and without that information, we can't make a full judgment of whether we think it's a good idea.
Councilor Michael Paul Hart joined the discussion, pressing the petitioner's lawyers on why community incentives won't be discussed until after the rezoning process.
Well, that's giving away your hand before the game is over, and that's what they're expecting the neighbors to do, and I said that's completely wrong. They need to bring the incentives before the zoning is complete, or else the people in the community won't have anything to negotiate with.
Community members say the company needs to go public in order for them to feel like they can trust the project.
I think if they would say, hey, here we are, this is what we want to do, here's what we can give back to your community in whatever ways, yes, I think that would help a lot.
Meanwhile, Councilor Hart says more work still needs to be done on the plan.
It sounds like the petitioner might need a little bit more time to figure out what they're going to offer as the incentive, and if that's the cause that they're trying to get through this zoning process to figure out what they can actually do.
A community-led meeting is set for April 21st at 6:30 here at the Civil League Community Building. The city's legal rezoning hearing for the project is scheduled for May 15th at 1 p.m. In Franklin Township, Alex Almanza, 13 News.
Here's a quick look at other stories making headlines right now. 4 people are now charged in connection with a deadly shooting in Brownsburg. The suspects are facing multiple counts, including theft and false informing. The shooting happened at the beginning of March. 19-year-old Lucas Brearley and 25-year-old Zachary Johnson died. Police say Brearley shot Johnson in an SUV. The driver then shot Brearley. Prosecutors determined the driver was acting in self-defense. Tonight, 25 people are under arrest after drug raids across Johnson and Marion counties. But police aren't done. They're now looking for 20 more accused of selling the drugs. Investigators say the case involves meth and fentanyl. Tonight, police have identified a suspect in a murder case dating back more than 5 decades. But state police say that suspect himself was murdered in 1985. Phyllis Baylor was killed in 1972. She was traveling from Indianapolis to Bluffton. She never got there. Someone found Baylor's body in Allen County. Now, police say DNA evidence links the crime to Fred Linneman of Michigan. Police say he had no known connections to Baylor. The Indiana National Guard now ending the trip to the southern border. This is video of their departure ceremony back in September. They've been in Texas supporting the Texas National Guard. They'll be back in Indiana within the next 60 days. Governor Braun says the mission was a success. And work is now underway on a new fire station on Indy's Near East Side. The new Station 20 going up near 13th and Emerson. The project's expected to cost about $8 million and set to open next July. Remember, you can find all the latest local stories anytime on our 13 News app.